So speaking of the Democrats and their stupidity and the vacuous nature of their convention in California and how they don't want diversity of thought, this reminded me of the movie The Distinguished Gentleman. I'm not sure if you've seen this movie, but Eddie Murphy's the star. And in The Distinguished Gentleman, Eddie Murphy's basically a hustler. He's a street hustler, and he kind of does whatever he can to make money. And he shares the same name as a congressman who had just passed away. And so Eddie Murphy decides, you know what, I'm going to run for Congress. And so he has this canned speech, because of course he knows nothing about politics. He only knows about how to be a hustler. He has a canned speech that everybody likes because everybody wants to hear it. It kind of reminded me of the Democratic convention in California. And I thought, you know what, we have to play this clip, and here it is. Here's Eddie Murphy.
People, we ran a positive campaign. Campaign on the issue. Issue is change. Change for the future. The people have spoken.
He said nothing so far. So he said nothing in that speech, and that's what the whole movie was about, is among other things, is that while he was running, he kept saying that same speech, and he really didn't say anything. Everybody's like, yeah, change, yeah, future, yes, the issues. Well, what are the issues? What is the change? And this is the Democratic Party today, I really think.
That's AOC, right? I mean, like, they took her, like, I'm saying from the streets. Obviously, she wasn't from the streets, but they took someone who had no political ambitions at her own admission and made her into this giant political figure. And she, when you hear her, the more she talks, she's just going in circles. She's not actually talking about anything. It's like, what? And people love it. They're eating it up.
Exactly. And it's the millennials, I think, who love it. Don't you agree? I mean, look, I'm not blaming the millennials. This is Mark and the Millennials. We're trying to understand millennials and boomers and the divide. But at the end of the day, that's who she, I think, is speaking to. And I'm not really sure why it's so popular.
We see this in politics all the time. People say the things that everyone wants to hear without any of the substance. And I believe with the millennial generation, either we're too busy or we're too lazy to actually read the science behind everything, read all the history behind everything to actually understand a topic and digest, because there's so much information. You just got to find the few sources that are actually unbiased.
What's appealing, I think, from like a millennial standpoint, I think what's appealing to messages that like are coming from like AOCs of the world is that our lives has been so hard as millennials, and that we just want to be. It's gonna be so much easier if we're just given stuff. Whereas like the generations previously were, instead of giving messages of like, oh, the government should help you and give you more, they were said, work harder, like you can earn success.
Yeah.
Like we're told the government should do more for you.
We faced a recession. We didn't face the Great Depression, where
Right.
people were literally living in Hoovervilles.
Yeah.
Sure. And look, we need the producers of The Distinguished Gentleman to do a new movie called The Distinguished Gentlewoman, starring AOC or an AOC lookalike, because it would be really funny. Because, I mean, obviously that was comedy back then, but this to me is comedy today, except that it's real life. It's incredible. It's real life. Hey everybody, this is Mark Fisher with Mark and the Millennials. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.